Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to look at LeBron and we're going to take a look at him in particular in his aspect of full court passing and what he brings to the table with it and how it opens up or helps create very effective offense for the Lakers or whatever team he's on in the moment. Let's go. We're going to break this into two categories. We're going to talk about ones where he's very early with it and ones where he has to kind of adjust to what the defense provides. So the first one we're looking at is essentially a lot of this is going to have to do with Anthony Davis up here. And so when there's especially long three-pointer shot, depending on who this back defender is, if AD is the one out here, he has the opportunity to get a huge size advantage or huge just distance advantage. And because he's going to be able to have this side advantage with a guard that just shot the ball, it presents an enormous opportunity for the Lakers, and LeBron and AD capitalized on this a lot. Because defenses had to be so specific with who they're putting on AD because of the size threat that he represents, it created a lot of opportunities. But it wasn't just AD, it also represented other players on the offense. And so here we can see actually D'Angelo Russell. The three-pointer was shot here and D'Angelo Russell closed out. And instead of coming back for the rebound, he simply uses momentum to allow that to continue filtering out. And LeBron sees it and immediately passes it up ahead because the player that shot the ball was a little bit slow versus D'Angelo Russell simply taking off. And this is one of the dangers of simply shooting threes without having an idea of what your role is afterwards. And so AD again is closing out here, and we're going to see him essentially just slide on by behind Grady, and Grady doesn't go back to essentially play defense at all. And AD has a huge advantage, and even if you do get back there, you're going to have a size advantage. And so AD gets another easy finish. And then I believe this is literally the very next possession. We didn't see it because it cut off a little bit, but AD was the one closing out over here, and he leaked out. And again, what are the Raptors doing? Like, no one's getting back on defense, and like that's frankly pretty inexcusable. As like if you shoot the ball back there, you have to be responsible for getting back. Now, I honestly think more teams should kind of go to this philosophy where if they have somebody that can leak out, as long as it's not putting you at a huge disadvantage on the glass. So if you have LeBron and AD, that are in good position to get a rebound right here, why not have Dalton Connect leak out, And so Dalton gets behind Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is a couple steps late, lingered up here. And that's the thing is like if you're shooting this ball, you either got to crash, if that's what your coach wants you to do, or you got to get back. It's just staying in no man's land. Like, what does that accomplish? Nothing, and it gives up potential open dunks on the other end. But then our second category is a slightly more nuanced ones where you have to read the defense here. So here we can see the defense is partially back, so they don't have anyone that's just posted up back there. In fact, we have two defenders. Here's one and the other is out of the picture. But essentially, LeBron's going to be like, because they're focusing so much on the post player, which they have to do, and because this player decided he had to take away Dalton Connect because Dalton Connect's a good shooter, the one that's open is Austin Reeves, who's going to cut down here. And because there's no defender to essentially stay with him, he's going to have a relatively clear lane to the basket and gets a clean look in transition. And this is why as a point guard, you got to be thinking that you're going to push the ball ahead every opportunity you get. Again, we see in transition, the Pistons are back. They're in a good position here. But because you have attention on Rui Hachimura and then you have attention on LeBron James, and this player probably should go with Dalton, but he's slightly distracted and out of position, so he has to try and compensate. And so LeBron does a good thing where he's not looking at Dalton right now, he's looking over here at the corner. And so 12, the defender, is going to go over here instead of going to the rim where Dalton is, and LeBron makes a great pass right where Dalton can finish it easily at the rim. And this one I think is kind of the fault on the defense, honestly, but still, you have a defender that's back, so you don't have the ability to just post up. But Zach Edey prioritizes LeBron just a little bit too much, and D'Angelo Russell is over here, and so LeBron's like, okay, well, if you're not going to go back to the rim, you're going to stay up here. I'm just going to bounce past it ahead so that way you can't get a hand on it, and right to D'Angelo Russell, and Zach Edey's way out of position for it. And our final one, and this is after a made basket. This is pretty much inexcusable, frankly, because San Antonio has all 5 players back. They're just not quite communicating. Like Castle, you can see he's pointing, but this player was jogging back, and there was like clearly the other defenders aren't in position where they could stop like that. I mean, that can't happen if you're on defense. But anyway, so because the other players are too far forward, they didn't go back all the way to the rim, you're going to have 1-on-1 or essentially 1-on-0 where Dalton leaks out and LeBron finds him early in transition. This is a key aspect because every team has this opportunity, and LeBron simply being able to find this, visualize it, and see it, and then essentially capitalize on the read as well is absolutely crucial and allows for so much better offense for LeBron, for the Lakers, but then this is universally applicable as well to creating more offense for your team as well. So whether it's simply using the mismatch on a leak out, whether it's AD or other players, but then also trying to read the defense and figure out if they're overshading one way or the other and letting that create opportunities. LeBron does a masterful job. If you enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe, but most importantly, have a blessed rest of your day.